Hey everyone, my name is Jack, and welcome to my channel. We're here to talk about love, sex, dating, relationships, and all of the emotions and the science behind it all. So today we're going to be talking about dopamine. I read a book recently called The Molecule of More. It is a fantastic read. I highly suggest it. I'll put it on the screen for you so you can find it yourself if you're interested after this video. It talks all about how dopamine is prevalent in our lives and how it affects so much of our behavior. So I want to talk about how it affects our dating behavior in particular. Okay, so first I'm going to touch on what dopamine is. It's not exactly the pleasure drug in our mind, but it's more triggered by something new, exciting, unusual. We got to keep it fresh. Okay, that's what causes dopamine. So if you're getting something you like, then that causes dopamine. You get more of something you like, you get a little bit less. More of something you like, a little bit less. Something different that you like, dopamine levels rise back to higher levels. Okay, you got to keep it fresh, keep changing. That's what causes dopamine, is something different and exciting. Okay, so dopamine is absolutely 100% addicting. Even the worst drugs, the heroines, the cocaines, they cause dopamine in our minds. That is what is addicting. Okay, the only reason that those are significantly more addicting than everything else is because it releases more dopamine than everything else. The heroines, the cocaines, lots and lots of dopamine, and it really affects our minds negatively. Whenever we get that much, it messes with us in terrible ways. Texting and messaging back and forth on dating apps, same thing, just not as serious. But it's still very important to understand what's happening in our minds. That's what I want to talk about. So every time we get a new text or a message from someone, or a match on the Tinders and Bumbles, we get that little hit, and it feels great, okay? But the problem is, after a day, 2 days, sometimes even just a couple hours, we'll get unmatched, or they'll stop replying to our messages. What's going on with that? That's a great question. I'm very glad you asked. It's the withdrawal symptoms of getting reduced levels of dopamine. Whenever we get that match, it feels great. Whenever we get those text messages, feels great. More messages, less great. More messages, less great. The way we get those dopamine levels back up to high is we match with someone new, we start talking to someone new, or we talk to the same person about new subjects. Okay, that's why texting conversations often progress into interesting territory sometimes, at least for me. Y'all let me know if same thing happens with all of you. So whenever those texts get less and less exciting, we experience minor symptoms of withdrawal. That is very real. Okay, and whenever we go through withdrawal, it makes us, it doesn't feel so good. So according to psychologytoday.com, if we're not getting enough dopamine, we can experience chronic boredom, or the feeling of chronic boredom, loss of satisfaction, lack of drive, motivation, enthusiasm. So whenever we experience that withdrawal, we start to look for it somewhere else. That's why somebody will start swiping on those apps again. They need a new source of dopamine. They need a new match. They need a new texting buddy, whatever it is. So how do we fight this? Okay, it's not easy. Okay, there's no good solution, but what we can do to try to mitigate it is the way we talk to someone. So whenever we start messaging someone a little bit, if you can introduce a subject talking about a restaurant you want to try, a new bar with a drink you're excited about, or an upcoming event, maybe a comedy show or an event you want to do, you want to go play some tennis, whatever. Mention specifics in your messages, and whenever that other person, hopefully they express interest in whatever it is that you mention, and as soon as they express interest, that's your window to invite them to join you. Okay? That way it feels natural. The other person's not going to feel like you're rushing them to meet up. So you got the natural feel. Now the next issue is we have to do it pretty quickly. where they're going to experience those dopamine withdrawals, and they're going to seek a new person to give them their fix. So, whenever we're talking about that event or bar or whatever, we have to try to invite them, whether it's that night or the next day or possibly in 2 days, and that's pushing it. The sooner the better, because we want to get them to agree to meet up while they're still excited about us, while those dopamine levels are still high. Okay? And same for us, because our dopamine levels are going to drop as well if we stop talking. And we will lose that initial excitement about them. It's very important that we understand that about ourselves. Whenever we experience those withdrawals, it's not actually the loss of attraction, it's just those withdrawal symptoms. That person is still just as exciting and attractive as they were initially for us. So don't give up on them, and try to get them to not give up on you. So that's all I've got for you today. Hopefully you guys can use this information and apply it to yourselves in your dating habits. If any of you use this practice, use this little trick to try to help you meet up with somebody and maintain that attraction, let me know how it goes. I really want to hear from you guys in the comments. So like this video, comment below, and subscribe. And I'm going to try to come out with videos on this sort of stuff as often as possible. And if you've got subjects that you want to hear about, comment below. Tell me what you want to hear, and I will do the best I can to help all of you. All right, see y'all later. Peace out.